Hans Smith, Operations Section Chief. I'm with Brian Pisarek's Eastern Incident Management Team. Hey, you're on the Swan Lake Fire. It's roughly 100,000 acres. So I'm going to do kind of a little rundown with you folks of what some of the stuff we're looking at here. Here's the Swan Lake Fire. You've got the town of Sterling Highway running over to Cooper Landing. Like I said, it's roughly about 100,000 acres. A lot of it burned up close to the highway, a lot of structures, things like that. A lot of this is up in more of a wilderness area, mountain area. So what I'm going to talk about today is what we're looking at the map here. All this black line represents line that has been put in, whether it's with bulldozers or folks digging line or whatnot, burning out. And it's been watched pretty heavily for the last 4 or 5 weeks. And right now it's what we call sort of a monitor patrol status. We're not doing a lot of work on it, so a lot of lines button up. The red represents line that's uncontained. It's a lot of fire that's still out in the mountains. It's not necessarily moving around heavily, but it's in terrain that's fairly inaccessible, not very cost effective, and even more importantly, not very safe for a lot of folks to get into. We have strategic plans and operational plans for if this thing ever moves down canyon. One thing I would like to address is the smoke issues. A lot of smoke's not going to be coming from the fire we're really roaring around or moving around. It's going to be coming from interiors. A lot of little pockets that may not have burned on certain days when it's sunny out. Smoke will build up, and depending on the wind direction, it could head up towards Anchorage. More than likely, it could work its way down towards Cooper Landing, which it generally does because of the wind patterns here. Doesn't necessarily mean the fire's doing a lot of movement, just means like you have a lot of smoking area interior. It would take literally forever to mop up the whole entire 100,000 acres, hence the reason we have smoke. There's a lot of good work still going on. A lot of folks are patrolling down here, making sure this button up. We do have a structural protection group down on the road in case it decides to move. There is a lot of what we call suppression repair, where there's bulldozer lines, hand lines, heliphones, all sorts of things interior of the fire that can be repaired before the team leaves and all the crews leave. So there's a lot of work going on with that. There is still a lot of monitoring going along this line. It's all hung up in pretty good high country where it just doesn't make sense to send folks in. So more than likely this will remain in this sort of status here. Other than that, the Swan Lake Fire, for where it's at, it's looking pretty good for this time of year.
Joe Alyea, Operations Section Chief on Eastern Area's Type 2 team. Over here on the southwest side of the incident, we are starting to do backhaul and suppression repair along Division Alpha. And what I mean by that is we're coming in and removing the hose lay where it's not applicable and backhauling that equipment back to ICP. Following up with that will be heavy equipment to come in and do any suppression repair to repair any suppression lines that help contain the incident on the southwest side. We put in a contingency line, and as we go to do some repair on the contingency line, we'll be using excavators to repair the dozer line moving towards Watson Campground. And what the dozer will do is come in and remove any berms and add any water bars to minimize any erosion issues. And we'll also maintain a corridor for the electric company to maintain their lines along this. As we're moving into the southwest side, we'll be removing 40,000 feet of hose that we used for suppression actions. As we get into some of the steeper slopes over here in the southeast corner, we'll be using excavators to put in water bars to divert any water to minimize erosion and to clean up those suppression actions. As you guys see through the interior of the fire, we have several blue dots. These blue dots are spots that were created to get firefighters into strategic areas of the incident for suppression actions. We will be coming in and repairing these spots back to their natural state.
Hello, this is Brian Pisarek. It's a commander for the Eastern Area team assigned here to the Swan Lake incident. And thanks everybody for the support we found in your communities as we go through and try to work on this incident. We'll be having a public meeting coming up Thursday in Cooper Landing please attend, and we'll try to keep you up to date on our incident with our objectives and future plans for the fire.